This week I'm showing you what a self-tape really takes, the part that nobody sees before I hit send. Not just the lighting, the tools, or the lines, but the mental and emotional work that it takes to get there.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna make another video, mostly because I'm not feeling my finest, and that is precisely why I decided to make a video. I told you guys I would show you the highs and the lows, so I'm gonna do that. I'm just feeling generally burned out when it comes to auditioning and acting and performing. It is emotionally draining. And I think when I'm feeling kind of on empty, I experience this sort of avoidance or resistance. The body keeps the score. And mine is very much in tune and aware of the fact that we've been exerting a lot of emotional energy and I'm tired. And the thought of doing that again today just feels like a lot. I feel guilty that I feel this way. And I do feel the body's resistance to perform. I got to figure it out, right? There's no emotional Viagra. I wish there was. I'd be taking it. My audition today, it really hits home. This character is going through something that I just got out of. So I think I'm nervous about going to that space and not being able to get out of it. This is just like a lot of the stuff that psychologically goes on behind the scenes. So I'm curious for other actors that are out there, like what are some things that you've noticed as you are getting prepared for auditions, as you're getting into character? Any feeling you have that you feel guilt over or shame over or like you shouldn't feel? I'd like to know. I'm curious. Also, you guys, if you ever have questions about acting or behind the scenes stuff that you would like me to discuss as I'm making these kinds of videos, please leave that in the comments section. I'm happy to answer any question that I feel educated or experienced enough to answer honestly. All right, well, I think that is it for my makeup. I gotta get to rehearsing and preparing and getting ready. So those of you who follow me on Instagram know that I usually wear my hair in a natural wave because that's what my headshot is. But for certain projects, I will blow my hair out and do this barrel curl just if I think it's appropriate. But I just don't feel like my natural wave fits this part. First and foremost, we always want to make sure that we look and feel the part as much as possible. So I've decided to shoot my audition same day, working on it. Not quite the same as a cold read, but pretty close. I just feel like I'm in the headspace of the character already, so why sleep on it and do it tomorrow, especially with a tight turnaround. That will take some of the stress off of both me and casting. Contrary to popular belief, it really does take a lot to work yourself up into the headspace of a character. And it also takes a lot of work to talk yourself out of the headspace of a character sometimes. I was just talking to my therapist about that yesterday. Sometimes the characters we play dig up a lot of real shit, and it's really hard to turn off that faucet once you get it going. You know, it can be super cathartic, but it doesn't come without its consequences. And that's why I really do believe that mental health is so important, especially for actors. You need to be able to know what is your shit, what is the character's shit, what is shit you can put down and leave behind, how to turn it off, how to access it, how to compartmentalize it in a healthy way. These are all skills that are very hard to learn and take a lot of time to refine. So for my own mental health and sanity, I have chosen to just get in, get out, and move on as quick as possible. I don't normally use a lot of product in my hair. I don't really like to heat treat my hair either. I just say that for auditions, that's why you see me going with my natural look 90% of the time. But I will always put a little pomade into the tips of my bangs and the ends of my hair and a little bit at the roots, I guess just all over, to kind of tame flyaways and make it what I call PC. I'm happy with that. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to dress in. This character is a recovering addict who's on maternity leave, so she's recently had a baby. She comes off being more put together than she is internally. So I'm looking to dress her in something that's like practical for a mom on the go with not a lot of time for herself. And also that's like just put together enough to create some deception. This is like always the thing, right? You'll look in a packed closet and think, I've got nothing. Why? Why is that? I really like this. I feel like I should spend more time searching for something, but I think I found it. Otherwise, what could be really cute is like this layered. This might be good. I think I might like this actually. It's a little something more going on there. Okay. So I'll probably just pair this with like blue jeans. And then I'm gonna go blow out my hair. So this room is my self-tape audition workout room. And it has been demoed, but it has not had much attention past that. So the floors are really pretty ugly and rough, as are the walls. And as you might be able to tell right now, it's a little bit echoey. So my agent had told me that my recent self-tape sounded a bit echoey. So I am investing in some microphones. And they arrived. Perfect timing for my audition. Here they are. Kevin did some research on these and found them to be pretty well reviewed. So they're wireless, which is really helpful because I have had auditions where I'm only in a bra or in a dress, so it's not easy to clip things onto where wires aren't seen or pulled. Does anybody else have a hard time opening boxes? Wow, this is like super compact. This is awesome. Oh my God, these are so small. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect them to be this tiny. That is crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know what any of this does or how it works. And rather than have you sit here and watch me read, I'm just gonna pretend like I know what it does, even though I'm blatantly telling you I don't. And then in the next video, I'll seem like an expert because I will have begrudgingly read the directions. Stay tuned. We are experimenting with this mic.
Why did you press the record button? Double press that button.
Shut up. Whoa!
Isn't that right?
So you can control your own. You guys, this is a game changer.
And so when it's green, that's noise canceling. So if there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, we get a lot of lawnmower men.
So now press it once and it'll turn blue. That's just regular.
If life is normal.
And then on the little receiver dongle, it's got a pass-through so you can charge your phone if you want to plug your phone in because you're recording a lot.
This is good find.
All right.
Okay, we need a brand deal / sponsorship with this company.
My voice sounded amazing.
Did it?
Let's see how yours does.
Okay, let me cut.
2 press.
This is awkward. Okay, so let's pretend I'm doing a scene and then I get like really loud or emphatic.
Isn't that every scene you do?
So everything's charging now. So it'll be all ready to go for my audition tomorrow. I'm super excited. Normally I just shoot in natural lighting, but today is very overcast and we're doing this way late in the day. So we have to use these lights, which are ancient, and in another room that only has one outlet. Isn't living in construction fun? After 6 years of doing it, I'm not over it at all. But you do get a custom house, so I can't really complain too much. It's very important to make sure that both of your light bulbs match. Okay, let's see how that looks. It's pretty good. I wonder if it's better without the diffusers. The diffusers do look really pretty though. This is not easy to do with one hand. One sec. Okay, this is my trick for framing when I don't have someone to help me. I put my ring light to about where my head is, and then I'll frame up where I need it to be, and that's that. So we'll take a look at the lighting here, see if it's good. Yeah, it's good. I have printed out my material. First thing I do is highlight my lines. So this is a 5-page audition. I don't have a lot of turnaround time on it. And even though they say, you don't have to be off book. I don't know how not to be. It's kind of like, would you rather look at a map while you're driving or know where you're going? My dad had asked me one time, he had a presentation for work, what is your secret to memorizing lines? There is no secret. It's basically like any other muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. One of my very first jobs was on a soap opera. So that became one of the first things I learned how to do very early on in my career, and it's only gotten stronger since. I don't really try to memorize lines anymore. I memorize the thought process behind saying them. For those of you wanting to learn, it's just like learning the lyrics of a song. Say them out loud, drill them out loud, and eventually you'll just start memorizing them. So the next thing I do is I go through and I put a box around my cue line because I do want to get familiar with when my line is coming up. Sometimes the character before you will have multiple lines, and what you'll be responding to is to the first thing that they said. In that case, I would box what you're responding to in addition to the last line you're supposed to hear before you chime in. Now, once I've done that, I just start making my notes. I start doing character development, things that right before I start the scene, I just want to have fresh in my mind to where the thoughts, feelings that I'm evoking are coming through and coming across.
What I've just finished doing is rereading the character breakdown and taking from it some things that I think are important for me to know and infuse into the scene, what I personally relate to and what I don't. The things that I don't relate to, which I need to do a little bit of research on or dig into a little bit deeper. I'm gonna look for ways in the scene to implement this, make notes of any questions I might have, get a sense of my first impression reading it. One thing that I wanted to bring up, there are clues in the way the character speaks that give you insights into what's going on underneath. For instance, in this audition, I keep saying when I got pregnant, but what's actually scripted is when I found out I was pregnant. Getting to be pregnant would indicate an excitement, like a reward, versus finding out you are pregnant can be both good and bad. In the case of this character, it's a window into her soul of being more freaked out than excited. I was actually having a really hard time connecting the transition here. Rereading the way it was written gave me a little bit of insight into what that transition might be. So you can, in a lot of ways, use the scripted dialogue as clues that give you insight into how the scene should be played. Me and my pimple have finished going over this. It's really a shame. I mean, this looks like a prosthetic. It looks like the bubonic plague. I mean, it looks fake. It's so bad. You see, when you make fun of yourself, it makes it really hard for other people to make fun of you. I guess there's only one thing left to do, which is perform. Look at, I even covered up my friend so well. Okay, I have to get to work now. I'll let you know how it goes. Alexa, turn on bedroom. Better. I have this theory. People are raised in all kinds of households, but there are two kinds of households that I'm going to reference. There are people that are raised in households where they get constant adulation. Then later in life, they have a hard time taking criticism. And then there are other people that are raised in households where all they receive is constructive criticism. So then they have a hard time getting adulation. I grew up in a household from the latter. We have always been like, what can we do better? How can we improve? What can we learn from this? And so even when you do a good job, your focus is still on the things you did wrong that you can improve upon. So it's always been really hard for me to receive compliments or praise. And one thing that I'm trying to really work on, and I've been doing a pretty good job, is taking a moment at the end of every day to celebrate the wins, kind of see the things that I achieved and the things that I should be proud of when I get auditions like today that have really tight turnarounds. And I find I don't have enough time to put forth the work and effort that I want to feel really good about what I'm returning to them. That's always been one of my biggest challenges that I've tried to make peace with and work on.
And I really feel like I did that today. So I'm taking a moment to take that in and process it and be proud of myself. I did a really good job keeping the pressure at bay and not being a perfectionist and not expecting this to be something that it was incapable of being, and being in the moment and going with the feeling. And so that was like a really big win, made even bigger by the fact that I'm actually really happy with my export. When you get to that place of not really caring about the results, whether you get a callback or get pinned or put on a veil or you book the job, that's the real prize. Everything else is just extra. That's my takeaway from today. What habits or things are you guys working on that you're trying to implement currently? And how do you feel you've been doing in that practice? Let me know.
I have just finished all of my self-tapes for today. It is 9 p.m. I am so exhausted. I think it went really well. My first audition, the one that I was talking to you guys about when I was getting ready for them, went really well. I really want that one so badly, which is also like this other thing is like, how do I play it cool? Acting, auditioning there's just like so much like dating. It's weird. How do I seem interested, but not too interested to where I come off desperate and turn them off? But how do I play it cool without seeming like I'm not interested at all? It's all a mind game. I had a voiceover that actually like took me by surprise. I didn't think that one would go as well as it did. I had a commercial audition that was fun. And then this last audition that I had tonight that I'm like currently still dressed for, I don't feel I'm right for. And I used to spend a lot of time trying to make myself fit into that square peg round hole, that whole thing. Now I'm at a phase where I think I just immediately, again, like dating, I meet the script and I immediately know I'm right for this. I'm attracted to this. I'm not. It's going to be a stretch. I might be too young. I might be too old. I might not be quite what they're looking for. And I just like acknowledge that so that if and when I'm rejected, it doesn't hurt as bad. Oh, I gave myself some really nice bedhead, which is like perfectly timed because that's where I'm headed. Okay, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye.